What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Don Divine Show. Broadcasting live. Okay, tonight's show, tonight's topic is going to be about lowering your standards. And we're going to get on top of that game tonight. See, it's all about staying on top of your game. You know, you got to stay on top of your game. A lot of dudes is not staying on top of their game. And for those of the dudes who are staying on top of their game, you know, you can still check this show out. So just analyze what you're doing and just kind of get a introspective look at what you're doing. Now, in order to watch my show and to understand it, to gain a comprehension of it, you gotta have at least a 6th grade fucking reading level. You know, I had somebody, they were asking me the definition of one of the words I was using. And it was a very simple word. You know, I don't want to put the person on blast, you know, but it was a very simple word that I feel like a person of that age should you know the definition of the word. You know what I'm saying? I can teach you the game, you know, but I can't teach you the motherfucking alphabet. You know what I'm saying? So, you dig what I'm saying? So, you gotta have at least a 6th grade reading level to soak up game from fucking with Don Divine. Okay, let's get into the game. Okay, lowering your standards. See, a lot of dudes and a lot of females, but I'm just, you know, the show is specifically to my guys out there, to the fellas. A lot of niggas is out there lowering their standards for a number of different reasons. Now, standards, to have standards, and if you don't know the meaning of standards, a standard is a level of quality. So, in order to have high standards, that means you want some shit that's high quality. You want good quality. Whatever it is, if it's a TV, if it's a radio, if you have high standards, you want the best quality one. Now, if you lowering your standards, which is what tonight's show is about, that means you're accepting some poor quality shit. And those are the dudes I want to speak to tonight. Those are the people I want to speak to this evening. Those people that's out there accepting poor quality, subpar shit. See, now, a lot of people have low standards, poor standards, because in order to have high standards, you have to feel worthy of having high standards. You have to feel worthy of high standards to have high standards. If you don't feel worthy enough to have them, you're not going to have them. So that's a confidence issue. That's a self-esteem issue that you're dealing with if you don't feel worthy of having high standards. See, now, when you have low standards, I know sometimes things may happen in life, certain turns in life may happen, and you may have to lower your standards due to these circumstances. So lowering your standards should only be temporary. It should only be a temporary thing. You know, you're trying to get back on your feet, or you know, you're in school, so you can't really focus on a relationship or any particular woman, so you kind of lower your standards. You kind of have like just a little jump off female that you fuck with. You know, that's cool. You know, that's just a temporary situation. And that's what the show of Lowering Your Standards is about. It's about lowering your standards when it comes to females and when it comes to relationships. That's what it's about. And for the women that's listening, just put in male or man when I say female. Plug in female and male, and you can still get the game too. But like I said, it should only be temporary. Because when you lower your standards and you accept that, you're basically accepting defeat. You're basically accepting defeat. And you don't want to accept defeat. You get what I'm saying? And then when you lower your standards so much and you lower your standards so often and for so long, you get to a point where you prefer having low standards. You start getting rewarded or certain rewards and payoffs for having low standards. It's like you get some type of learned helplessness shit going on, with yourself. You get used to having low standards so much that you don't even believe that you can even fathom having high standards and functioning in the game with high standards. See, low standards, if you see a person and they have low standards for such a long time, 9 times out of 10, that man, 9 times out of 10, you may have developed an inferiority complex. And see, that inferiority complex that you have is affecting your game. In order for your game to max out, you have to get rid of that inferiority complex that you have. And you could have, developed one for a number of different reasons. But see, low standards are born out of an inferiority complex. Let me slow down because I'm rushing. I'm just rushing all the game down your throat. I'm stuffing the game down your throat. So I'm like, I don't want you to choke on it. I don't want y'all to choke on the game. So let me slow down. Let me slow down. But see, your inferiority complex is 9 times out of 10 the reason that you have low standards. And another thing is that low standards sometimes take place when you just have to be in a relationship with a woman. You need a woman by your side. You have a fear of being alone. So you just have to be in a relationship. Instead of you just focusing on getting your shit together, stacking your bread up, getting your shit together, getting your game together, you just need a woman by your side. So you lower your standards in order to get one. Instead of getting your shit together and getting a woman of caliber that you really want, you so thirsty, about your game that you lower your standards and just accept whatever female you can get at that time. With whatever level of game that you're at. See, because low standards, like I said, it's born out of desperation. You know what I'm saying? Low standards it comes from when you being thirsty about your game. You see what I'm saying? You're thirsty. When you're thirsty, you have low standards. That's when you being thirsty. You on some thirsty shit. To a point, part of lowering is having low standards. It's about being thirsty. I'm just gonna call it how I see it. Part of having low standards is being thirsty. If you're operating out there with low standards, is being thirsty. Now I understand, like I said, in some circumstances you have to lower your standards a little bit, just because you have a little cool female that you're kicking it with or whatever. But you're not trying to wipe her up. You're not trying to settle down with her. See, that's the mistake a lot of guys make, is they lower their standards temporarily. Then they end up wifing up the chick that they lowered their standards for. And that's why you have a lot of these dudes who ain't really respecting the girls that they with, and then cheating on the girls what they with, is because they lower their standards and get hooked up with a female and then end up settling with that female on some humbug shit. You get what I'm saying? And see, you don't want to let your insecurities take on a life of their own. Let me turn this down. Let me spit the game. I want y'all to hear this game tonight. You don't want your insecurities to take on a life of their own. See, that's what being confident is about. That's what confidence is. Not letting your insecurities take on a life of their own. You know, you got your insecurities in check. Your insecurities don't have you in check. Because in order to have high standards, you got to be confident in yourself. You got to be very confident in yourself. The higher your confidence level is, the higher your standards will be. And the lower your confidence level, the lower your standards is going to be. It's that simple. So if you want to maintain high standards, you know, you got to work on your confidence level. You know, you want to stay fresh. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be bummy. You know what I'm saying? You want to be well groomed. You don't want to be out here looking bummy, trashy and bummy, because then your standards become low in themselves. You feel me? Your standards become low in themselves and take on a life for themselves because you're so bummy. You know what I'm saying? You just living life. You're not in control of your life. And you just letting shit happen to you. See, when you're not in control of your life, bad shit happens. That's why I say, as a man has to always be in control of his life and of his destiny. He want to control the majority percentage of that. And that's what being a leader is about. That's what being a captain of your ship is about. Being in control of shit. So it starts with having high standards with yourself. So if you have high standards with yourself, then you'll feel more confident about holding other people to high standards. But if you don't hold yourself to a high standard, then you're not going to feel very confident about trying to hold somebody else up to a high standard. You're not going to do that with the confidence that you need to influence and persuade the person, the woman. You know what I'm saying? And every relationship you go into, with every woman that you encounter, every woman that you deal with, you either go into it with high standards or you go into it with low standards. And when you go into it with low standards, when your standards are low, a lot of times you accept poor treatment from the woman because your standards are low. So you're not really accepting no quality treatment, You won't be accepting no quality treatment from her on a subconscious level. Because like I said, every relationship or woman that you deal with or that you go into, you either going to go into it with high standards or you either going to go into it with low standards subconsciously. And if you go into it with low standards that you got set for yourself and that you got set for the woman, you're going to accept poor treatment. You're going to accept bullshit from the female on a subconscious level. You're not going to even be aware of the poor treatment, the harsh treatment that you're accepting. You're going to be naive to it. You're not even going to see it. You know what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? You're going to let the female be 2 and 3 steps ahead of you. And like I said, man, your man must always be 2 and 3 steps ahead of his woman. That's a must. That's a rule. That's a ground rule. You dig what I'm saying? And see, standards are based off of your values and your self-image. Standards, I'm gonna say it again, standards are based off of your values and your self-image. So if you have poor values and a poor self-image, that equals low standards. That's the equation. Poor values plus a poor self-image equals low standards. Crisp values and a strong, healthy, positive self-image equals high standards. You know? And you want to have, as a man, you gotta have high standards for yourself and for how people treat you. Because for a man, standards are based on how the woman looks and how the woman treats you. Those are what the standards are based off of. Those two things. Your standards are graded according to that. How good the woman looks, how attractive the woman is, and how well she treats you. See, women who have been through a lot and don't know haven't really learned how to cope with what she's been through, they become abusive. And you have to lower your standards in order to be with that woman. You get what I'm saying? And when you have low standards, you won't make an assessment of the woman. You'll just stay with that woman. You'll just rock with that woman and her bullshit. See what I'm saying? So long-term low standards is detrimental to your health and your game. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me define high standards according to how the woman looks. Now, if you have a woman and she's on a scale of 1 to 10, anything from 1 to 7, in my opinion, would be low standards. That would be low standards. And any woman that's from an 8 to a 10, that's having high standards. So, depending on what the woman that you're approaching look like, and to the woman that you're getting that look like, on that scale of 1 to 10, determine if you have high or low standards. But see, thirsty niggas fuck up the scale of 1 to 10. And I've talked about this with a lot of folk, with a lot of the homies. That thirsty ass niggas fuck up the scale of 1 to 10. They'll have a woman that's a 5 or a 6, and they'll treat her like she's a dime. They'll treat her like she's a 10. They'll call her a 10. They'll rate her a 10. They'll grade her a 10 when she's really a 5 or 6 to a boss nigga. See, and that fucks up the scale of 1 to 10. That's why you can't really fuck with thirsty niggas like that. And like they say in the game, man, you gotta stay sucker free. You gotta stay sucker free. See, letting them thirsty niggas up in your game poisons it. And that's something that you really have to take serious. And that's something that's very detrimental to your game. You gotta stay sucker free, man. You gotta keep your time with them niggas limited. You know, that's bad for your self-image. It's bad for your subconscious self-image. You don't want to be sitting around a bunch of sucker-ass, thirsty-ass niggas like that. You either got to lace them niggas with the game, or tell them motherfuckers to get up out the way. And E40, he said a quote that I was looking at on Facebook. He said a lame will never understand game. So even when you try to lace these thirsty niggas with the game, they still won't understand it. They still won't understand it. So your best bet is to not even fuck with them niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to fuck with them niggas like that. You want to fuck with niggas that's getting money. Niggas out here that's making moves. You know, I be seeing, not too long ago, I saw this one scrawny Mexican cat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really think too much nothing of him. You know, he looked like a, your regular average dude, Hispanic dude or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then I seen this nigga jump into a Lexus. I think it's about my age or a couple of years older. This nigga jumped into a Lexus. So I'm like, dude, you know what you do? You know what I'm saying? You moving weight? You know what I'm saying? You out here, you selling drugs? You know, what are you doing or whatever? And dude told me he, started his own business. He came up with a business idea, and he started a company with that shit. It's like a transportation company. Nigga said it's pulling in $300,000 a year doing that shit. So that's the level we want to get on, man. We want to start thinking and trying to start our own businesses, especially in the black community. We keep giving our money out to all these other races and shit. I'm not trying to be racist or nothing like that, but shit, we need to build up. Black folks need to build up our own economy. We depend on everybody else's. We're too dependent on what everybody else have to provide. We don't own and control anything. But that's a different subject. But back to the game, back to the ism. Because I'm gonna lace your boots. I'm gonna lace your boots, fellas. That's that 50 Cent in the background. And his album is banging. But like I said, having low standards. When you have low standards, you're gonna have a woman that's either from a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. You're gonna have a woman that's either from a 1 to a 7. If you have high standards, your woman is gonna be from an 8 to a 10. And another part, and I know this may or may not upset some of my listeners, but being superficial, that's having low standards. When you're superficial, Like, meaning that, you know, all your woman gotta do is have a big ass, and you'll wife her up. Or your woman, she just gotta be light skinned, you'll wife her up. Or she got to have a nice body, you know, you're superficial. She just, as long as she got money, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna wife her up. Thinking like that, having that mentality is low standards. That's low standards. For women too. You know, they just say, I just want a dude, you know, I just want a hood nigga. You know what I'm saying? I just want a thug. Oh, my nigga, long as his dick good. You know, long as the dick is good. You know, that's the only criteria you have. That's low standards. See, when you're superficial about your criteria, that's having low standards. So you want to know, you want to analyze what having low standards means, so you can check yourself, take an assessment of yourself, so you can know whether you have low standards or not. Because if you don't know, you're not aware that you have low standards, how can you ever have high standards? You know what I'm saying? And these nice guys out here, man, stop being so goddamn nice to these women. You niggas is too soft. I hate seeing that weak shit. You know, I don't speak on it. I don't get in nobody's business. But I hate seeing a soft, weak ass dude, man. I hate seeing it. I'm man for man for man. Bro for bro for bro. Player for player for player. You know, Mac for Mac for Mac. You know, that's what I'm all about. That's my philosophy and my ideology that I'm going to stand on and never will waver from. Yeah. But y'all nice guys, see, nice guys have low, very low standards for how women treat them. You have different types of nice guys. You know, you have one that accept low standards for women, and then you have the nice guy that's very insecure, who would just take, you know, a woman, not a below average looking woman. You know, he'll fuck with an ugly woman. You know, he'll just get what he can get, or whatever. But before I get up out of here, man, I want to share this last bit of game with y'all, man. Y'all got to start jumping on these foreign women out here. You know, it's a big wave of immigration, and we can benefit. Your game can benefit from that. You can capitalize with your game off of all these foreign women that's coming over here. You know, Trey Songz and everybody, all the rappers, you know, they up on it. That's why you hear Trey Songz. He got the song called Foreign. You know, he's talking about foreign cars, and he's talking about these foreign women. This wave of immigration of women that's coming over here, that you can spit game at. That you can spit game at, man. That you can get into their ear and let them hear your game out. You can put your bid in. You know what I'm saying? And foreign women are real cool, man. You know, women of all nationalities from whatever country love a strong and confident dude. Women from all over the world, as long as you a strong, confident dude, man, they're gonna be attracted to you, man. They're gonna be sexually attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get no bitch with no Ebola. I know a lot of the West African sisters that's coming over here with the wave of immigration. You know, you want to make sure she don't have Ebola. You know what I'm saying? Before you put your bid in. Or whatever. Yeah, but that's been my game on Low End Standards, and I hope I didn't rush through the game too fast for y'all. I hope I laced your boots with the game, and I'll see y'all next week or so with some more game, man. That's Don Divine Show. I'll see y'all later.